We're just 1 week away from the 2017 Los Angeles Auto Show, so Subaru's latest teaser will probably be one of the last you'll see before actual cars take the stage. Subaru gave the public a peek inside the forthcoming 2019 Subaru Ascent 3-row SUV, ahead of its debut on November 28. There isn't much in the way of surprises here. There are, in fact, 3 rows of seats, 4 doors, some windows and some nice-looking brown leather. It's a car. Subaru isn't reinventing the wheel here. This 7-seater is believed to use a 2.4-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine, and it's unclear if the flat-6 from the Outback and Legacy will eventually make an appearance. Like every other Subaru on sale today, the Ascent will pack standard all-wheel drive. The teaser also gives us a peek at the Ascent's headlights, which look the same as other new Subaru models. It's pretty close to the Ascent concept that debuted earlier this year at the New York Auto Show, which was itself an evolution of the gnarly Visiv 7 concept that first heralded this SUV's arrival. We'll see the whole shebang in just about a week's time, so you won't have to wait much longer.
Subaru New Zealand Managing Director Wallace Dumper calls the WRXT the last bastion of the manual gearbox. It's not the last 3-pedal Subaru standing, of course. The more mainstream WRX is still available with a manual transmission, although it's seldom sold with one. Would have been unthinkable a decade ago, but WRX drivers now prefer automatic. Of the continuously variable kind, no less. But the WRXT remains manual only, even in its just updated form. In fact, it's the last bastion of quite a lot of things. The WRX range has long since stopped wearing an Impreza badge, but as we all know, it's still based on the platform of Subaru's small car. It's just that this particular iteration is no longer on the latest version. The current Impreza and its XV paternal twin are now built on the all-new Subaru Global platform, whereas the WRXT are still riding on the old architecture. If you favor a bit of old-school Subaru Boxer burble, the ST is still the place to go. It's quite restrained, but you definitely get a sense of that thrum that we all used to know and love. The thrum that's long been banished from the rest of the range, which is now rather grown up. There's also a clear link to the lag and launch character of turbo cars from years gone by. There's a definite lull in proceedings below 3,000 RPMs, but then the 2.5-liter Boxer turbo comes on boost and things get fast and furious very quickly. The ST is not a particularly easy car to drive smoothly and/or quickly. It's hard to get off the line. The gearbox can feel notchy unless you take a very firm hand with it, and the vast amount of mechanical grip and AWD traction requires a certain slow-in, explode-out cornering technique. You don't get what is perhaps Subaru's greatest technology asset, the EyeSight twin-camera active safety system. It's just been added to the standard WRX, but it's not compatible with manual transmission models, which is the only type of ST model. It's exhausting just talking about it. I might have put you off at this point. Or you might be quite excited to know that the new ST is still old school and over the top. The ST isn't entirely stuck in 1995. The premium model now has steering adaptive headlights with daytime running lights, a front view monitor, which will stop you scraping the new design bumper when you're parking, and a 10-way adjustable power driver's seat. The ST engine meets Euro 6b emissions regulations, and there's a new brake package with 340mm front Brembos and 326mm cross-drilled rotors on the rear. Bright yellow calipers are standard, and perhaps the easiest way to identify the revised model. There have been minor changes to the suspension, and the driver-controlled center differential, DCCD, now allows more precise control of how the AWD system distributes its torque. You still get the SI drive control that gives the choice of 3 modes for the powertrain. It's still a hardcore performance vehicle, no question. The hard ride tells you that. So while it's possible to trundle around town in the ST, leaving the car in intelligent mode and trying your best to keep the engine on the boil without going boost-tastic, that's not really what it's designed for. The WRX Automatic certainly is, while still looking the part and being respectably quick. So if it's a day-to-day Rex you want, that's probably the one. If you want to go real fast, be completely involved and occasionally wrestle with an animal monster, the ST is your car. This is still a serious machine for serious people, more than capable of demolishing a Kiwi backroad or eating up a track day. The old-fashioned feel is all part of the appeal, right? So is the cartoonish quality of the acceleration and grip when you really wind things up. It really takes you by surprise at times. Once upon a time, the ST was the ultimate in small car performance and handling. You could spend all day arguing about whether a Fast 4 was really better than Aussie V8 muscle. Well, the Aussie muscle era is over and there are any number of hot hatches on the market that are just as fast and powerful as the ST, while being dynamically more sophisticated and much easier to drive quickly. Not to mention much posher inside. The WRX's interior was never that flash and it's not aging gracefully. Where does that leave the ST? As a nod back to a time when you had to be totally committed to your driving to get the most out of a high-performance turbocharged car. That was a good time. Still love the ST.
Subaru can catch a break. Now they have another lawsuit filed against them for one of its vehicles attracting rats. Yes, you read that right, it's true, a class action lawsuit has been filed against the Japanese automaker for a Forester attracting rodents. They've had oil consumption lawsuits, engine defects in the WRX STI, spontaneous windshield breakage in Outback and Legacy models, and now a customer in Hawaii says her 2015 Subaru Forester attracts rats. Really? According to a report by Hawaii News Now, there's a new class action lawsuit against Subaru Corporation alleging rats are attracted to certain car parts in the 2015 Forester. Maui resident Diane Shui discovered she had a fuel leak. The Hawaii resident took the Forester to a local Subaru dealer and they discovered the problem: rats had chewed through her vehicle's main fuel line. They told me that thing could have caught on fire. Shui says the problems with the rats have cost her more than $3,000 in repairs because rat issues are not covered by the vehicle's new car warranty. She contacted an attorney who filed a class action lawsuit last week charging Subaru with making a change to soy-based plastics for wiring, insulation and fuel hoses that rats apparently find too tempting to pass up. Subaru's local dealer declined comment on the specifics of the lawsuit, but instead issued this statement: "Our customers and their safety are our priority and, as we do with all vehicle complaints, our policy is to work with each customer to try to reach a mutually agreeable resolution." Honolulu, Hawaii attorney Chris Slog, who filed the suit, said, "The lawsuit seeks a full refund of the car's costs, since costs to replace each of the soy-based wires and hoses would be too extensive." Shui says she's tried using rat traps and all kinds of home remedies to get rid of the rodents with no success. "It was a nightmare after just 2 months of driving this thing, and it has continued for 2 years. I love my Subaru. I'm so frustrated and I'm very disappointed in Subaru Corporation," says Shui. According to a report by Forbes, this is not an unusual problem and other automakers like Volvo have experienced the same problems with rodents eating soy-coated wires and causing extensive damage. It's not just Subaru and Volvo, apparently Honda, Toyota and other automakers seem to be experiencing chewed-up wires too, and it's an industry-wide problem. In fact, it's such an auto industry problem, Consumer Reports even wrote a piece on "How to Protect Your Car from Rodents" article for consumers in July of this year. Subaru Corporation has been beset with other lawsuits and internal issues in Japan dealing with improper vehicle inspections. Now its Subaru Forester is being attacked by rats. Subaru can't seem to catch a break.